Hi, I'm Mina Malik Hussain and you're watching The Coffee Table, and today we have a whole bunch of girl power on set because we are talking to three trailblazers on the path for women's entrepreneurship. So I am welcoming today on set Amna Zafar, who is the founder and CEO of Checkbox Media, Shameelah Ismail, who is the CEO of GharPar, and Gulalai Khan, got that right, yeah, I hate mispronouncing. Gulalai Khan, who is a communications consultant and also runs the Pakistan Professional Women Forum. It's as amazing as it sounds. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome to the set. I'm
Thank you.
super excited, as you can see. It's not just my coffee. Because I love nothing more than talking to women who are just so cool as all of you.
Ooh la la.
This is great.
We like
I know.
being
So
cool.
you're out there in the world, making some money. You know,
And
sort of
making changes.
exactly. You're sort of really clearing the path for a lot of other women to be inspired and sort of like follow in your footsteps. So sort of as a sort of preliminary thing, I like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. So let's start with you, Amna. What is Checkbox Media?
So Checkbox Media predominantly is a communications agency, but we do something differently, which is we take a data-first approach.
Okay.
So we're focusing a lot on digital marketing and getting customer acquisition online being easier. So that was something that actually worked a lot for women-owned businesses because they didn't have access to traditional retail.
Yeah.
So a lot of the clients that we work with are actually women-owned businesses who use the online space to become
like Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, their website.
Yeah,
so we do like SEO and analytics and insights to, get them to their customers.
That's fantastic. Well, and a lot of women have, I think that social media has really helped a lot of women set up businesses straight from the home. Like you don't need to sort of go around looking for an investor or, any sort of, it doesn't sound very complicated.
It's not at all. And even more than that, I think access to the traditional retail becomes difficult for women because there's so many challenges that come with it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to go find a place, okay, I'm going to rent it or lease it, and the kind of people that you have to deal with for the entire process to, actually go through.
Quite
so
right.
a lot of women prefer actually using the online channel.
Yeah.
And it's worked out beautifully.
It really has. And sort of, we could circle back to that in a second. So Shameelah, tell me about GharPar, which is, of course, a premier at-home beauty situation.
Yes. So GharPar being an at-home beauty services platform.
Yeah. Not situation, beauty services platform.
Yes, please correct. So what we do is we work with women from marginalized communities.
Right.
We bring them on our platform. We have an 8-week training program for them.
Okay.
We train them in beauty services and then give them an opportunity to run their own micro enterprises by connecting them to clients who want high quality beauty services in the comfort of their own home. And this is done via an app right now.
Right. So I really feel like, is this the first kind of, it's the first time that somebody has formalized this sort of previously informal beauty services situation where, you had, if you're your favorite girl at a salon, you could just sort of call her over to your house. But now through GharPar, there's a sort of, it's a formalized way in which you can monitor things like hygiene and training, and it's a much safer way.
Yes, when we were conducting the market research, we found out that the women were actually using the informal market, the beauty services, but they had a lot of problems with the existing technicians. They found them to be unprofessional, unhygienic, tardy, and sometimes they would say, yes, I'll come over, and they would never show up, like especially your waxing ladies.
Yeah, quite right. That's an ongoing battle. Like, please come at noon.
So we just formalized the entire thing. Hygiene is very, very important for us. Then when these women, they come on board because they're from a background, they have no literacy.
Oh.
So we have to teach them everything. Apart from the skills, we teach them like grooming skills. Self-grooming. Hygienic, like how to be more hygienic.
Yes.
Tech skills, financial skills. We basically teach them how to run their own business.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
So pulling them out of poverty is like our main motto.
Wow.
And we've been able to pull 103 women and their households out of poverty.
Amazing. Your turn now. So yours is slightly different because your business is a business that supports other businesses.
Yeah, so other women actually, because as you see, I've been working as a professional in different organizations for the last 15, 16 years. And the one thing that, it constantly came at any organization that I was working with, lack of mentorship opportunities, you know, even that confidence that you don't have as a young woman to excel, and then there's nobody to guide you, and especially in a society like Pakistan. So you just fight your way up through the ladder, and once you reach there, then you realize that it's your time to give back.
Yes,
so hence,
quite right.
It's the Pakistan Professional Women Forum that it's just we're starting small. We're just having a few events, a few programs that we're starting with. Because during my conversations with all those people that I work with, a lot of women would say that stepping out of the house, yes, it's if we have managed that, then within organizations and within, you know, if they want to do something, they just don't know where to go, who to go to, and who to talk to. Like, I would love to have people like Amna and Shameelah come as mentors on my program, you know, because we're starting a national mentorship program.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah,
okay.
And it's not just for business people who want to be entrepreneurs, it's also for women who want to have leadership positions in professional organizations.
Oh, so it's not just an independent business person, but even if you're inside an existing framework, just how to effectively sort of just get ahead.
Yeah, exactly, get ahead. And you know, we were talking about this imposter syndrome.
Yes.
And a lot of Pakistani women face that.
Yeah.
Because then even if you achieve something, you're always doubting yourself. Is it really because I achieved it myself, or is it is because of the male boss, or is, you know, there's always these things.
And when people say, no, oh, you're so lucky.
Exactly.
You're like, no, I'm not lucky. I worked really hard.
Yeah.
And I was really focused.
Exactly.
And one should be able to own that and say, well, it's not show off, you know, to be able to be confident about your skills.
And confident, and also we don't even know how to brand ourselves. So these are some of the skills that, because we would say, oh, I mean, this is this concept in our society that nazar lag jana.
Yes.
And you know,
also that, you know, that you're being a show off.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, well, you know, I'm very accomplished. I've done all these things.
And you would also get comments like, oh, you know, it's just something that is at a very basic level.
Yeah.
But these are if you brand yourself well, that's exactly how the Pakistan Professional Women Forum is going to teach young women, professionals and entrepreneurs to brand yourself from the very beginning, because that's where your journey begins actually.
This is very intriguing. Amna, what is branding yourself?
We were just having this conversation earlier, like literally before coming on set, that, you know, a lot of the time women tend to be very humble about their approach to how they do business, and they don't like to, I mean, they don't even state the kind of accomplishments they have, and they feel that they're very hesitant when it comes to all of that. There was a very interesting study that Harvard did, I think a decade ago, where they spoke to this class of MBA students, 50% girls and 50% boys. Yeah. And they asked them that, do you think you're going to become leaders when you grow up and go into different positions? 92% of the boys felt that they would. Only 12% of the girls felt that they would.
Only 12?
Only 12.
Like not even 40%?
Not even 40%. So the biggest challenge is that we as women at times don't even think of ourselves as leaders. So we don't project that.
Right.
So we let a lot of, you know, what is happening around us kind of, you know, overpower in situations like that. In those situations, your body language, the way you present yourself, like all of these cues are very, very important.
Yeah.
And this you're talking about in like America.
Yeah.
If you come to Pakistan, it's even worse over here. See, when I was growing up, we were always told that, oh no, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to say this, don't raise your voice, don't be assertive, all these things.
And like talking about money is also vulgar. That's well, you know, it's not very polite.
And when I started the business, I really had to struggle to actually be assertive.
Yeah.
And say, no, it has to be done this way.
Yeah.
So we were always taught, no, just be submissive.
Yeah, like be nice, you know. So just, but being nice, it means that you don't cause trouble for anybody. And doing a business as a woman is on so many levels this like wonderful act of subversion also, because a huge factor in holding women back from doing their own businesses or being sort of economically viable is the freedom that you get from being economically viable. And that's quite terrifying in patriarchal societies that we still have.
Yeah, because...
You go ahead.
Go ahead. You know, like all our policies...
We all share this.
All our policies, all our culture and social norms are about protecting women.
Yes.
But it's about time that instead of protection, we just let's go to the empowerment narrative, because that's what's going to make them equal citizens. You don't have to protect them.
Yeah, and protection from what?
Yeah.
You know, like... Shouldn't we be...
From them, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So somebody should be talking to them and saying,
exactly.
Can we please, like, hang on a minute and make some space.
So when we started, GharPar, so because we were working with women from marginalized communities and telling them that we will make you economically independent, their men just went crazy.
Oh,
they're like, what?
Especially on a sort of like, for example, a lot of domestic work, for example, women do. A lot of rural agricultural work, women do. So it's not like women aren't working. It's just that in the workforce, women's labor is unpaid and unrecognized. And
but it's actually women in that class. I mean, think about it. They're using public transport. They're coming out of their houses every day. They're reaching your houses. They're traveling. I mean, we still live in a bubble. And bigger challenges are here. Those women are way more empowered than we are. I mean, their economy is not obviously as organized as it should be. But in terms of this, the middle class and like the working women and the like the entrepreneurial spectrum, it's still very new for women. So
yeah, but what happens is that when all these women, they go out and they're earning in whatever capacity, whether it's formal or informal, they go back home and majority of them give the money to their husbands. So this is what was happening on our platform a lot. All these women would go home, whatever they would earn like 60, 70,000 rupees a month, go home and give all the money.
Hand it over.
Yeah.
Which is literally sort of taking the power that you have and being like, here, relinquish it because I am now part. And then it's complicated because on the one hand, these women are supporting their household and the family unit is what it is. But at the same time, there's no notion of like saving, for example. You know, we had some microfinance people on the show last week, and it was really great because some women who take loans don't necessarily always tell their families that they're doing it.
So that's what actually we started doing. We opened like e-wallets for all our technicians. So now all their money is transferred to them in their e-wallet. So the rest of the family doesn't see cash.
And nobody else can have access to that e-wallet.
So they are more in control now. So they can tell or give out money as much as they want to. So this was a big accomplishment for us, making them even more empowered.
And be like, well, you know, I'll see what I can do about this money. We're going to take a very quick break and come back in 1 second. Stay with us. Hi, welcome back to the coffee table. We're talking to Amna, Zafar, Shameelah, Ismail and Gulalai about women in the workplace and all the amazing things that are happening here, or at least we're trying to make happen. So before we sort of chug along, I do want to kind of ask a very obvious question, and maybe Gulalai, you can answer it. Is that what is an entrepreneur?
An entrepreneur is somebody who has an idea and then they know how to, you know, because it's a very scientific process. You can have a brilliant idea. I mean, I can have a brilliant idea and then it doesn't happen to me, you know, because I'm not able to work towards that idea. So I think Shameelah, because you are an entrepreneur yourself, and from her story, what I've learned is that you have an idea and then you have the processes in place to follow up on that idea, to make it into a business model that actually works for you and gives you the financial independence that you're at the end of the day looking for. So this is for me somebody.
Because we hear the word a lot.
You know,
and
it's a very fashionable word, by the way.
Like empowerment and entrepreneurship. Everyone's like, everyone's an entrepreneur. But what's the difference between an entrepreneur and a business person? Is there a difference?
No, there isn't. So basically the textbook definition is that somebody who puts together the resources, which is land, labor, and capital, to actually run a business that makes money. So that person is an entrepreneur.
Right.
A business person is also pretty much the same.
And there's attendant risks also, because I feel like risk is a huge aspect of setting up your own business. And again, as women, I think we have less access to, you know, investors. And like you said, like a business model, like how do you make one? It's not enough to just have an idea. It's really interesting that it's a scientific process.
We're also risk averse. Women in Pakistan are also very risk averse. So they would stick to jobs, they'll stick to those safe professions. And even when they have brilliant ideas, they would not just, you know, that entrepreneurship that comes from within them, the idea that they would not follow up on them.
Because they don't believe in themselves. That's the problem.
I think more interestingly, what I want to add here is that the one thing that we realized, I mean, at least when I started CVM, so we started this chapter side by side, which is called Empower, which predominantly targets on providing business development skills to women, helping them grow their business, learning, you know, the tech side of business so that they can incorporate that within their systems. And after like doing that for almost a year, we realized that, okay, we are risk averse, that is there. But I think that's relevant for the entire population. I think that applies to the men
as well.
But more than anything else, we don't have the tools to start a business. We don't have the skill sets that are required to, actually come up with a business plan, know what all we need to plan, and like think about expansion or maybe an exit plan, or all of the components that go into actually setting up and running a business.
Right.
So one thing that we get really caught up with, like when we're starting our business, is that we start working in our business as opposed to on it. We start doing the day-to-day. So we get involved with the day-to-day. As an entrepreneur, you need to be thinking about the vision. You need to be thinking about where your company is going, what your strategy is, and where you want to take things. And you have people to, take that forward.
For you.
But we get so involved in our day-to-day of the operations of the business per se.
Yeah, we're taking orders, or sort of answering the phone, or sort of packaging things.
And doing everything yourself.
Yourself. Rather than delegating the work to others. Because we have this thing that, oh no, we micromanage things. Which we should not if we want to grow the business and take it to the next level.
Do you think it's also a subset of just nerves also, where you feel like you have to monitor everything yourself? Because it's also terrifying to do this.
Initially, because you're this anxiety kicks in, when especially it's a new business. But then if you have to grow as a business, then you need to delegate. And then you need to have that kind of team and trust within that team to be able to deliver for you.
I think a successful entrepreneur is one who can empower people in their
around
team, around them. And that's the best way to get forward.
And what you said about vision is something that is really intriguing to me. It's not just about having the idea, but it's having a plan that kind of has an arc to
exactly.
it. Like, where do you see yourself 5 years in the future? Where do you see yourself 10 years in the future? And that's very much a part of...
Yeah, and more than anything else, having like 10 backup plans for all the backup plans that you have.
Really? Oh my God! And it's so interesting that because entrepreneurship is something that starts with a lot of passion, so a lot of people don't even have exit plans,
So one thing that I'm committed to this forever, and I will go to my grave doing it.
Exactly. So it's their baby, and they don't want to part with it. So there is no exit plan for them. And I always believe that an entrepreneur is somebody who jumps off the cliff first and then builds a plane.
That's very Zen of you. Zen proverb that says, leap and the net will appear.
Yeah, because there's so many problems that are arising every day, and you have to be a problem solver. If you can't solve the problems, then you're stuck there forever.
So what are the kind of problems that specifically as Pakistani entrepreneurs, what are problems that you guys most commonly face?
Well, there are one too many. I mean, if we get into the
top three.
I'll give you an example. Like a couple of days ago, so we're probably like a tech company, right? We work in communications and everything, and we rely on the internet for a lot of things. So we have like 2 main internet lines and like 3 backups to that. None of them were working 2 days ago. And we're still struggling with it.
Yeah, apparently it's a mystery with an underwater cable.
Yeah, there's a cable underwater that gets
mysterious cable
every time. So access to network is also a big challenge, at least for like most of the tech companies here in Pakistan. It's a big conversation now. More than anything else, I think access to finance has been the biggest challenge.
Access to finance.
Yeah, same.
Why banks don't take you seriously?
Nobody takes you seriously.
Really? Yeah, but sort of, jokes aside, that's really important.
It is, because every time you go meet any investor, you meet anybody who has some sort of capital to help you, they love your idea. They'll say, oh, wow, you're doing a great job, and being a woman, they just pat on your back. That's it. But they won't really bid on you. Because you're a female.
And at the back of their mind, there's this idea that you're just doing it for fun.
Yes, they don't take you seriously. Na? And the biggest obstacle that I have faced has been that I'm a mother of 4 kids.
Same. I salute you.
You're a mother of 4 kids, and we doubt your commitment. And if you're not married, you'll get married.
Yes. So and if you're married, then you'll have a baby.
Yes. So everything of a female is a problem for them.
Yeah.
So although a man can have the same problems, but nobody's going to point that out for him.
Quite right. It's like, I'm sure this happens to you, and you, because you have children also. So when you go out at night, someone will invariably ask you, who's got the children?
Yeah.
You're like, well, why don't you ask my husband that? They're his too. Like, what? And I always joke about this. If I'm asked, how will you manage? I'm like, if I can manage 4 children and organize everything and the household, I can run your business in seconds.
Exactly. That's like, I think it's very similar to raising a family. if you want to build your business.
Because if it's problem solving and being organized and having strategies in place to run smooth operational systems, then
moms are the best.
Logic to just have women do all of that.
Exactly. It's sort of multitask and get things done.
Getting things done,
Yeah, but a lot of women also, even if they have ideas and all those things in place, the operations, then there is the regulatory environment for businesses, which is anyways bad. But then for women, it becomes worse.
But what's a regulatory environment?
Like how much is the government supporting women in business?
Yes.
What are the different, because a lot of women would, especially in business, and Amna, I think you would like to second my thought on this, they have problems dealing with government agencies. All these taxation issues.
I mean,
all these
there's not enough information out there supporting entrepreneurs.
Any entrepreneur, regardless of gender.
But then for women, it doubles. The problems double.
Men have better networks. Like, I'll give you an example. When I started my company off and I wanted to register my business, so I wanted to find a lawyer and an accountant. And I was going crazy. I met people, I called people, I checked with people.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like it would be so difficult. People register businesses all the time.
And then, I checked the internet, I was browsing, there was not much information there. Then I told my brother that, listen, I'm going through this. He was just like, just wait 1 second. Took his phone out and he just messaged on a group. Like, what did you just do? He's like, this person will call you and it'll get sorted. So men at large really stay connected to the networks. He messaged his batchmates, people from his class. Somebody was a lawyer, somebody was an accountant. And that kind of connectivity helps men. Women don't have that kind of structure at this moment in the entrepreneurial space.
Right.
So there's a lot that they have to do from scratch. They don't have a lot of guidance in terms of, how to register a business.
And even
really
women who have made it big, and if you go and approach them, they won't fully support you somehow.
I just wanted to add to this because a lot of the initial sessions that I did with some women professionally and entrepreneurs as well in the Pakistan Professional Women Forum, there was this constant comment coming in that, there's at certain points, the other women won't support you. And that is really, as a woman, I feel it's really sad.
That is because disappointing.
It is. And we need to get out of this problem. My explanation to this is because there are very few leadership positions and there are very few women out there as examples. That probably increases the competition. But that should not be the case. That should not be the case. Because until and unless you have those networks that can help you, and similar people like working in the same business, like if I work in communication, I would just pick up my call and I'll just pick up my phone and call Amna for support, and she should be able to help me out. But that is the kind of network that is missing in Pakistan.
So you're going to make that now, no?
Yes. Everybody should join.
And by the way, it's an uphill task because I have been trying to get mentors on board, and it is not as easy as it sounds because people would not give time. They're not generous with finances and other resources. But I think that if we don't change this, then nobody else can. That is why it's so important.
And how do you eliminate that scarcity of resources? And I think you're right that the competition is also that there's just space is so narrow that maybe people there feel like they have to kind of play with the boys in order to get ahead.
Isn't that because I've thought about this a lot. It's something that's bothered me a lot. Isn't this the imposter syndrome? Why do women constantly believe that other women are their competition? Why aren't men our competition?
They are.
So they're equally our competition, and this is that entire quota mentality is a problem there. Because why are women just, this is the diversity number. We have women here.
We are just a
quota diversity.
We are a number.
We need to have a woman here. We need to have a woman on the table because we have to get the optics right. And most women, they kind of fall into that narrative. I am here because, there needs to be a woman on the table, not because I have, and they've probably done 10 times more the work. So that mentality kind of needs to change, and only then that women will be more secure about themselves and be able to help each other.
So but there's another... What we do very interestingly is that with all these women, and I started doing that with my son actually. So every month I would ask him that, okay, you have to say 2 things positive about what I do and the change that I bring in your life. And so he
we're all making notes.
So he had to think about it. So we started doing this with our technicians. So with our beauticians, we started calling their families in, especially their sons and daughters, and made them think that what their mothers are doing and the change that they are bringing in their lives. So changing the mindset of the men of the new generation, that's what we need to work on.
Yeah, so we need to be able to find ways to recognize the value in the work women are doing. And we're going to take a very quick break and come back in 1 second, talk more about quotas also. I'm very intrigued by quotas. See you in a second. Hi, welcome back to the coffee table. We're having a fascinating conversation about entrepreneurship and the special and unique challenges that women face in Pakistan, doing it, making all the money. Yeah, as you can see, I'm very excited about all the money. So before we went to the break, we were talking about quotas and how sometimes having a quota is strangely, and this is something that was new to me, is that it can be detrimental as well. Like how? Who wants to answer the question?
Gulalai, you are the first right
I think
one.
that affirmative action at some point by policymakers and the government is very important.
Right.
The ones who establish those quotas when it comes to education, when it comes to eliminating violence, and even at some point, you know, for example, seed funding for women businesses only and all that. But I think we need to move towards a system where if we talk about mainstreaming gender and mainstreaming everything, then mainstreaming should be the key. And instead of having separate chambers, what we're doing is that when you have separate chambers, you're actually taking them away from the mainstream, from where all the networking is happening, where all the business is happening. So yes, affirmative action and support is important, but we need to, I mean, I'm sure that it's an ideal situation where you'll just be mainstreaming everything, but at one point in our, I hope we see it in our lifetimes.
The networking is very, very important. And if we're not a part of the mainstream, we need to network with the male in order and to be able to go forward. So it's not only that females should be set aside, and they should network with each other. We need to, all of us, we need to network together in order to pull each one of us up.
Because sort of it's just a practical consideration that female networks are not that developed yet. And you need to be able to talk to the people who've been doing things longer for advice. And if those are men, then okay.
I just whoever is successful.
Add to what Shameelah said, that exclusive women networks are also not going to work, because if I talk from my experience, some of my best mentors have been men. And people who've been good advisors to me, who've actually helped me climb the ladder, that, you know, the career path as well. So even in the mentorship program that I plan to do with this Professional Women Forum, all the mentors are not going to be women. Because there are areas where men might have excelled much better and they can guide you much better.
Right. So and if we're just talking, again, merit-based, like who's got experience, who's sort of been at it longer, and those are things that you learn on the job, and I suppose that kind of experience is invaluable for sharing.
And it has to be a part of the conversation now, because, see, there's enough research out there. More than 70% of the decisions that are made about products, what to buy, what not to buy, are made by women. By adding women to your managerial, senior decision-making processes, we have seen global trends that businesses have done better. That voice needs to be at the table, because they're the ones who are actually spending. That's where the purchasing power is. So, I mean, as much as we'd like to say that 10 men at a table can understand what a woman goes through or what a woman thinks, that's kind of not
really
possible.
So when we started GharPar, we entered a competition called the Startup Cup. And although we were the winners, but thank you. But every time we would go for the next round, and there would be judges, and because it's like a female-centric business, they wouldn't really understand. Oh, yes. And there was this other startup. It was all about cricket. And they were like, oh, yes, cricket! We get that.
We can relate to that. Take all our money. Like you already have a lot of money.
So now my brother is a part of GharPar as well. Our token man, as we call him.
We have diversity.
Anytime men don't understand, we just push him forward.
Yeah, like we've got a dude. He can explain. Have you got dudes?
No, I mean, especially if we're going to like government agencies or like government offices, we have a quota dude, because they won't take us. I mean, if a woman walks in, they wouldn't really.
And they wouldn't talk to you.
They won't acknowledge you.
So we started going to
chaperone men. Well, you know, okay, ladies take note, have one token man.
Very important. So in the beginning, when we were like putting things together and getting the products and tools, so my co-founder and I, we went to Shahalmi.
Right.
So we were looking for these big bags.
Yeah.
Talking to this vendor, and we said, can you show that bag to us? He looked at us and then looked away. We asked him again, and he was like, "ये ladies के लिए नहीं है."
Oh wow! It's like, why are you asking for them? They're not for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So you just
Like, can you just show it to us?
Yeah, let me worry about that.
This happens all the time. Like back when I was doing events, I remember we were doing this huge setup, and I'm telling the event guys who like, just, putting the set and stage together, and I'm like, listen, this needs to go here and this needs to go here. He's not listening. This needs to go here and this needs to go. The bhai kahenge to main karunga.
He actually said that.
He said that.
Oh,
Bhai
wow.
kahenge to main karunga.
But why? So do you feel like this is, again, maybe this is a uniquely Pakistani challenge, although I think it's probably
it's actually
pretty
international.
So it's hard for some employees to take instruction from female bosses.
Oh, yes.
It does.
Yeah,
And it becomes very, very
emphatically.
difficult.
So I want to sort of talk a little bit more about mentorship. So what does it mean to have a mentor? Like, what does a mentor do? Is it like your ustad?
He guides us, like, I have 2 male mentors.
Yeah.
And anytime I face a problem, I go to them and discuss with them. And they won't give me an advice. They would tell me from their, how they manage things. They'll tell me a story of theirs. And then I would understand this better. Oh, okay, so if I'm having this problem, this is how I need to solve this problem, my own way. They won't say, this is the right way and you need to do this.
Of course. Yeah. But it's basically somebody to whom you can talk to for advice and kind of share a situation and be like, what do I do?
And without feeling that, you're going to be judged.
Yes.
And they're going to be honest with you. I think for me, that's the biggest part, that they're going to give it to you straight. Like, they're not going to sugarcoat it for you.
Yeah, that's very important.
And you need that. But do you think that it would be useful to having a female mentor would be useful? Because I'm sure there are a lot of problems and challenges that female business owners face that male business owners might not necessarily face.
You know, like Shameelah, Amna and I were in the US for some program.
Yes, tell me about that.
Yeah. Last month, and we were able to meet so many women, and the way we connected with them instantly. I mean, I'm sure we would not have to a male who was telling his story of great success, but because we could ask those questions, that you had pregnancies while you were doing that business, probably relationship problems, bringing up all those children, men not listening to you in the office. So, you're right, that sharing the stories is so important, because then you are able to connect at certain part in my life, I can connect to that woman who had similar issues, but what she's gained, I can do that as well. So inspiration, it's very important to have those kinds of mentors and also those kinds of stories.
Yeah, and it's really interesting that all of you were in the US for this conference. Conference? Program. And the problems that all the women had were very similar.
Yes. So it's not a Pakistani thing. It's a worldwide female thing. So females around the world have the same problems. Like work and life balance.
Yeah. And I think that women probably feel guilty about so many things that I don't see men feeling so anxious about. Like, it's chutti time, I have to go, and the kids have this, and, you have to plan a dinner party, and are there eggs? Who's going to get the eggs and the milk? Which men I don't think men really have to deal with those sort of nitty-gritties.
Because everything's taken care of at home. They know that it's being taken care of.
Who takes care of it? Huge question.
So maybe we should start changing everything and bringing our partners, our spouses, more aware of what is happening in the house.
Quite right.
And start sharing responsibilities. That, okay, one day I will do that, and the other day you do that. So that they understand what we go through.
And for us, I think it's also a kind of particular cultural challenge, because women have traditionally not been expected to work either, and women doing jobs or a business on a small scale or whatever scale has been seen as a hobby and as making a bit of pocket
small
money,
business,
and it's sweet, that you bake cupcakes, and that's nice, so that whatever it is that you have a little Instagram page and you do things, but the fact that, again, like you said, but having vision. And believing that you can do this. And we still have so many trepidations about sending our women out into the world to work. And I feel like a lot of families are still very nervous about this. And it's so weird because so many girls are going to college, going to MBA programs, getting degrees, and academically doing better than the boys consistently over years, like the metric results, the FA results, college.
All of them.
You know, the people who are coming first and winning gold medals, a lot of them are girls. So where are those girls?
At home.
Yeah.
Which is very sad. Because this is the mindset of all the men over here.
Yeah.
That, and like, so my sister, who's also one of my co-founders, she's not married. And every time there's a rishta, they're like, you know, we have everything. She doesn't need to work.
Yeah.
She's not working for money. Like, she's educated. She's career-oriented. Like, that's what she wants.
And you shouldn't take it as some kind of insult to your ability to provide for your family. No one's saying that my business is a judgment on you as a person, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, to each their own. Whoever wants to stay at home, good for them.
Yeah, of course.
Their choice.
That's their choice.
But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know, I'd like to add something positive here, but things have changed.
Yeah.
There are more women now out there who are doing more. I mean, we're right here.
Yeah, not one, not two, but three.
I agree with Amna on this. Because and there are also more men who understand what you're trying to do.
Yes,
which is
we should give some credit to the men. Also, there are some great men out there, like Gulalai said. For me, mentors have always been men. They've understood like that business drive that I had, which I was having trouble communicating to, like, suppose female mentors. That drive to just constantly, you know, maybe do more. Constantly push. They're like, you have enough, you're doing well, why do you want to take this to the next step?
Yeah, like why? So a tendency to want to settle.
This is
okay, but why not?
Why
like,
not?
The sky's the limit. Why shouldn't you push ahead?
And even support systems like family support systems, when you don't not supported by men, like we are privileged enough to be supported by the men in our family systems, and that's why we are here today, and that is why we are all thinking and talking about giving back, you know, and spreading all that kind of awareness and sensitization, which is important for everybody to prosper.
Like for when we were in US right now, like for 3 weeks, and I was there for a month and a half, my husband was taking care of my kids and running the house. So he never complained or said that, come back.
Oh my God, the house is on fire.
So he's very supportive. Yeah, so we have been very lucky. And this is what we want to spread.
Yes.
And we want all men to be supportive of other women or the women around them and bring a change in the society.
You know, on this extremely positive and uplifting note, thank you, ladies, for being on the show today.
Our pleasure.
And talking to us.
Thank you so much for having us.
So candidly about your struggles and challenges and how the wonderful work you're doing. Good luck to all of you and Godspeed.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. If you are watching this on YouTube, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time on The Coffee Table. Bye now.